bottom position. Or in the top position. He is Solar. As opponent, down here in the bottom position, he is Creator. So already Creator trying to be a little bit of a nuisance, but unfortunately for him, Solar, he really just enjoys getting around that. He's instead going to be popping up over to the third base and making sure that he can get that expansion down safe and sound, make sure that his larva production is on top of things. And the good thing is, with the positioning of that base, it's a little bit more difficult for Creator to kind of push it in. So he's going to be able to defend that pretty well, and especially get his creep over there, which is pretty important. No game sounds. Oh. There we go. Yeah, sorry, a couple of technical issues happened right before the stream, so just going to fix those up. Took care of those. But anyway, it does look like Creator is going to get that wall off nice and early. He's just going to make sure that he's safe and sound. Still kind of trying to harass with the only unit he has available to him right now, Workers. And behind this, it does look like we haven't seen a third base come out from Solar just yet. So Solar is really going to I feel like Solar, he's one of those players that really likes to get that economic focus. He's got some really good macro, and once he gets into that sort of mid-game kind of defense point for the Zerg, it can be very difficult to break him down. And, you know, Creator's going to be trying to do that with some Stargate play. You know, recently I have seen a lot more Phoenix styles coming out of Protoss players rather than going straight for the Oracles. Which has, it's been pretty fun to see. I do think we're going to be seeing an Oracle first here with this transition, though, as the Adepts going to start to kind of move around, search for any wayward lings, and then head across the map to get some scouting information done. And it does look like it is going to be that 3 Adept Oracle opening here. We'll have to see how heavily he's going to commit to this Stargate play, as one of the big things is you can just transition out of it very quickly into Robo Facility Twilight Council. And here we go, the Adepts going to start the little dance of death here, but Solar is already in position, so only 3 workers going down before he takes care of those Adepts. Now it's time for the Oracle to play. But the Queen is already in position, though. Creator just going to dive on top of things here. He's going to activate, but unfortunately for him, he's not going to get any sort of damage done. Only 1 worker going down. So he is going to have to just get out of there with that Oracle. As on the other side of the map, Solar is going to try his hand at getting in here, but he is stopped by the quick thinking of Creator and some very clever unit placement. Indeed, this is live. And there we go. The Oracle getting a little bit of more damage done. He will have to back on out of there because he does not have energy left on that. Actually getting a Void Ray as well on such a large map. Denying vision is going to be super important. So any amount of Oracles or any amount of Overlords that he can snipe with that is going to be fantastic. But yeah, so far a really solid start for both of these players. They really have an idea of their game plan, and they're going for it hard here. Creator even going up to that third Oracle, which is just such a hassle because it can one-shot the drones and at the same time also just drop some stasis wards if he wanted to. But already 4 workers going down. You can see the power of those Oracles come into play there. Now, the way Solar is setting up right here, I feel like this is going to turn into a drop play. That's just my uncultured opinion, but it looks very suspicious here. But you know what? Creator's not going to wait for any sort of drop. He's just going to go straight in with a bit of a small poke here. The roaches will be complete in time for this, but that Immortal is quite a big hitter in the back. Still, though, this is quite a far ways to walk for reinforcements, and the Warp Prism is not actually in play just yet. So Creator wisely having to back up there. He does not want to overextend and lose this army. That is very expensive, even though it's not a ton of units. We do have the Dropper Lord going in as well, but Creator has caught wind of it. The 2 Stalkers being warped in as well as an Adept is actually going to clean that up, but the Zerglings do actually get out. They're not going to get too much damage done. Might get that Stalker. And from there, they're going to just kind of hang around, you know, before their last breath. Actually, that's extra damage that I bet Solar wasn't expecting to get, but 1 extra probe is pretty nice. So behind all of this, we got Solar going up to that Hydra infestation pit. So Lurkers probably going to be on the cards here, I feel. That would be a pretty good option, considering that we don't see too much here from Creator just yet. And Lurkers recently have just been getting that kind of big boost in popularity in the matchup as a whole as well. So it's just been really fun to watch these new creative Lurker plays go down. You know, Creator, he does have a pretty good view of the map right now. He's just got vision in all the normal attack paths, just constantly sending in scanning information, so he sees pretty much everything Solar is going for, even getting a couple of workers here with that Adept before going down. Yeah, there we go. We got the Hive coming down. We've got the Lurker Pit as well. Another expansion coming up as well, and Solar, you know, he's expanding the creep pretty well, but this is a pretty big map to have to expand it into. And one thing I'm always curious about, if you spread it into the zone right here, does it actually spread much quicker? And on the other side of that, does it die much quicker? I don't know, but if this hatchery dies much quicker, he's going to get the cancel. Actually going to get out of there with a majority of these Zealots. This one guy left behind. You know, he thought they were friends, but unfortunately there's no friends in war. Now Solar is continuing his advance here. He's got the he's gonna be breaking down the rocks as well to just kind of give himself a little bit of a quicker angle to attack into. Also has a bunch of Dropper Lords, just barely out of range here. So it's going to be really fun to see what he's going to be doing with that. Well, but with revelations on this army, you're going to have to be super careful about how you utilize this. As creator, going up to that 5th base in the front, this is where things start to get dicey here, as it's much closer to his opponent. On the other side of the map, we do see a small run by going down, but Storm's going to blanket the army of a Solar right now, but the Lurkers being the linchpin of this attack. He's got the defense going with those, and in the back, creator getting more and more worker kills. Bit of a stalemate situation here, as Solar's going to actually just retreat back to the creep, losing a few more workers here in the process, but the War Prism finally does go down, and he has cleaned this up. Now he does need to remine this base and make sure that he does not lose that spawning pool. This is pretty bad. Unfortunately, the Revelation's going to be hitting the Overlords right there, and that's going to mean that Solar can position his units quite well. A few good storms going to blanket the army. And Solar just really having some trouble finding the positioning that he needs to in order to keep this attack going. He is completely maxed out, however. So it's good on that front, but the Tempest really just cleaning up the Lurkers. He is in the natural, but he does not have too much here. Lurkers being the only thing really keeping him here. Storm's going to blanket the army, keep it away from each other. As he's going to defend, it looks like both sides. It's like the only way you can go is forward here at this point for Solar, so he's going to do what he can. Still, it's like Solar keeps jumping between these two, rotating around, but unfortunately, everywhere he just finds an army. Now you know it's Creator's turn to be aggressive on the map. He's got the mothership core, or the mothership rather, moving on, and he's got a few more carriers in the background building up, and he is just going to hop straight onto creep here and clean up what he can. That Tempest upgrade is going to be terrible for Solar's buildings as well. But here we go. Solar's going to jump right on top of this with finally having that vision. Corruptors going to get some good shots off, but it's not going to be enough to really push this back just yet. Creator putting himself into a really decent kind of angle right here for the attack. And the question is, can he really continuously push this position here? Both sides are completely maxed out here. Tons of Corruptors, tons of Lurkers. It's going to be a tricky one here, but Storm's going to really do some blanket damage to this army. Amazing Storms right there. And now we're just going to see Solar jump right on top of this. He has the detection. He's going to get the Oracles, which is nice for the Revelations, making those Tempests a little bit more vulnerable. And he's going to, he's still kind of dedicated to this position. I would like to kind of see him split off a couple of Zealots, maybe go for a little bit of a run by, kind of push the aggression to a different location as he pushes here. Solar going to bleed out a couple more Lurkers, but here we go. He's going to jump on it once again. No Archons with this main army right here. We have that one to deal with the Corruptors, but he's really going to need a little bit more splash damage to deal with it. Unfortunately, he just can't get on top of those Lurkers. Yeah, one Archon going to go forward, but he is just going to get cleaned up. The Tempest count is starting to falter. And currently Solar still maxed out almost, while Creator supply has dropped quite heavily. And he has been pushed back to this position back here with his base. And just a few more pickoffs before he decides to back on out of there. He was winning, but the Corruptor's quickly changing that as a position completely under siege, and he's just going to have to forfeit it. On the other side, we do have a little bit of a Zealot run by, going to go down and try and get some counter damage done, but the main army is still on the attack here for Solar. Creator going to try and keep things rolling back towards Solar side of the map. And he actually does clean up quite a few of the Corruptors. It's just the Lurkers which is the problem right now. And I'm going to keep saying the Lurkers, 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 because that's the main linchpin here. I do like this move, however. DT's coming on in with Shadow Stride as well, so they're going to be able to hop around between these bases as the Zealots block in for them a little bit. So kind of just watching this army a little bit more. We're finally going to see the addition of Vipers, which is really going to be good for pickoffs here. It is kind of quiet right now because I think the music is not really working. As I say that, the music starts working. But yeah, this has been a really back and forth series so far. It's just been really fun to watch these guys kind of gain the positioning, then lose the positioning, then regain it. But here we go once again. Solar just trying to keep him off of the creep. And one thing to note is that Solar hasn't actually been respreading the creep in this location, so Creator is able to get right up to his forward bases without too much of a hassle here, without being seen. But once again, he is getting in here with a couple of DTs, just trying to do what he can. Quickly canceling that base. He does not want anything to do with that. You know, here we go. This is going to be a big surround here for Solar, but unfortunately he's taking so much storm damage here. A lot of his Corruptors completely weakened out, but it might just barely be enough here until the Archons get underneath. Yeah, Solar took quite a bit of damage there. Unfortunately, it looks like he can't push too much further with this. But you know, I love how Creator is still continuing up with this aggression. He's trying to keep as much of that Zerg army as at home as possible, and it's really buying him so much room to breathe. This is kind of the expected outcome for this map, I feel. It's just so big. It's so hard to push without creep that it's really just difficult to get in touch with the other person's bases. Just more and more Zealot run-bys as well, getting so many good pickoffs here on the army, forcing him to remake it. and just keeping him from mining these positions. If we take a look at that income graph, it is solely in Creator's favor and has been for a little bit of time, ever widening. There are no Rich Vespian on this map, and that is a good point here, that that there are no real comeback mechanics in that regard. Solar gonna try and cut this army off at the pass as well here. But we're just kind of going into this position where I think Creator is just going to say, to heck with it, you can have one of my bases, but I am going to take everything from you. Already 20 workers going down, and we are firmly in what looks to be a base raid, ladies and gentlemen. And if it comes down to a base race, then Creator is slightly ahead, as he's already taken out 2 bases, gonna get a 3rd here as well. This base, it was taken out, but it was not destroyed, and that's the big thing. But he does get a good and nice recall there. And now Solar is gonna be the one struggling to find damage again. Creator, he's got 6 bases, 5 of which are up and mining. And look at that. He's actually going to start losing these buildings as they don't have the creep. So Solar knows the position he's in. He's just going to go straight in here, try and take out the army. And doing a pretty good job of it so far. He needs to get that mothership core. He does not have that much detection right now and no ability to remake it. And Lurker's getting on top of everything, and that is going to be GG. Creator taking game number 1. This is a live battle. So as you can see, we are completely live with our sponsor, Fireball Whiskey. Now let us see. The second map has already been selected. It's going to be Lightshade for our next map. Yes, it's alive! It's alive! I work at night, so it's okay to have a little early sip. Yeah, just waiting for the next lobby, but I hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. It is just so much good StarCraft coming up, not just today, but if you check out all of these links above, you see just so many events being planned. Sushi has gone completely overboard because he knows you guys are still on that King of Battles high, and he wants to keep you guys in the loop. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, DHMK. Like, I love your viewing. Like, it's always fun to see you guys come out here and support the stream, and it's always great to be able to come out here and just put on some amazing StarCraft 2. And you know what, guys? Just remember, this isn't the only series today. We also have Ragnarok and Beyond. And that's actually the one I'm more excited about because I've been watching and casting Beyond for like 4 or 5 years now. And every time he comes out, he just really gives us the best games absolutely possible. And you know what, guys? Speaking of great games, we have down here in the bottom position, representing Kaizu. It is Solar. And his opponent in the top position, he is representing Team NV, Creator. Oh, thank you. Like, I love Maynard's casting as well. He's one of my favorites just because he's so off the rails with his passion. It's really fun to see him kind of go, especially in the last game of a series where he just absolutely belts it in order to give us the best possible introduction and just keeps it going from there. Now, Solar. This is one thing I love about Solar. He does not take Protoss's shenanigans. He just goes straight for the third base, already there. And that means he does not slow down in any case with his production. He's got all of it going up at the normal time, even if he does need to spread that creep to kind of get himself back into a normal position from there. Yeah, that is kind of funny with the with those portraits. This is actually Jin Air Green Wings, I think. All of them have this strange one, and a little bit of Japanese writing down there that says "Yabai, it's bad." So that's kind of funny. Now, not going to see anything too crazy here, I imagine. We might be, from what Creator's making right now, I do think Stargate is going to be the next kind of step, the next iteration in his build order. We will have to see if that is indeed the case, because there is still... Okay, I lied. It is going to be Robo Facility, which is pretty darn good. So that Robo Facility is going to mean he does have the ability to be aggressive. We don't see any Twilight Council, so Adept Glaives is not in the cards. Blink is not in the way. But, you know, Solar, he looks like he's actually prepping for a bit of a drop here, just with the way he's hiding these units. So that's actually going to be a very fast War Prism here. So the next thing is, are we going to see the additional gateways, or what is going to be the choice here from Creator? This is kind of interesting to me. Talking about the Armani Zest games tomorrow. Those are going to be pretty good. I do think Zest is going to take it, but, you know, Armani has been looking on fire. So actually going to be Robotics Bay behind this. We might be seeing that transition into Colossus. Or Disruptors behind it, and yeah, kind of interesting here. We don't see that many gateways, so any kind of sustained aggression is not going to be coming down. Yeah, this is such a weird drop. I actually haven't seen this before. Yeah, so it looks like he's just going to kind of juggle the Immortal around. He was trying to get on top of the probe line, but not going to get it there. The Adept's actually going to come in straight to the third base, however, so it did work as a distraction. and going to get these two even more damage. 7 workers going down. Pretty nice start here for Creator. Kind of the first real blood of the game. One thing I'm seeing is that a lot of Protoss have been going for the Warp Prism speed very early on now. That allows them to really move around the map quite efficiently with their units. And yeah, here we go. Big disruptor drops here. Creator gonna get 1 queen for his troubles. He's gonna have to back on out of there. I think Tasia already did his military service a while ago. I don't know if that's 100% true though. Here we go, the Disruptors looking to get that big, juicy Zergling hit here. He's got to be careful. He does not want to lose those. 1 Disruptor actually falling. And the Warp Prism has to get out of there. He is so low. So now the army moving across the map for Creator. Solar going to send a little bit of a drop, not a drop, but a run by here to try and get things taken down in the front. That building's actually going to fall, so he's going to get straight in here, but a nice solid warp in there going to prevent him from dying there. 1 queen going down to all of this, but a huge surround here. This is just what Solar needed. He's got a big concave on this army. Going straight for the Colossus as well. He has to not overextend himself to get that, but so far it does look like this is getting the damage done that he needs to. The army completely annihilated here, and Solar takes a heavy supply lead. Trying to get that drop off, but he's still on a cooldown for this. And now Creator, he's going up to his 3rd base now. We still have not seen a 4th position here from Solar just yet. He's remaining on these 4 bases. But Solar's still on the attack path right now. He's trying to get up this ramp. There's no force field energy to deny him just yet, but he really wants to get rid of those disruptors so that he does not get huge hits like that on him. Question is this going to be enough to break through? He does have a pretty good surround on this army. Forcing Creator back into his own natural. The Colossus does fall, so it is pure gateway units at this point. Solar does not... Solar starting to clean up here, but the huge disruptor hit's just going to force him back once again. But he is still going to keep the aggression going here with this small band of hero roaches. I didn't even notice the muta transition. That's going to clean up one of those disruptors. I think he actually had one in there. The stalker count's still relatively low, so he's not going to be able to clean anything up, and GG. Yeah, I didn't think he would hold either, but stranger things have happened in the GSL. So that was absolutely epic there. Solar, yeah, he does that transition so well. He hides it so beautifully. You're focusing on his army 1 second, and then the next one you see just mass, just mass amounts of Mutalisk pop right into your base and destroy everything that you have, including your hopes and dreams. But you know what? Speaking of our hopes and dreams being dashed here, we're just hopping into our next game on Romanticide. Now, Romanticide is a fun map just because you have some strange positionings rather, that you can really kind of take advantage of. There's a smaller rush distance, which does mean that we could see the possibility of a kind of rush play here from our Zerg player. But it's all going to come down to really what these guys decide to do. Looks like we are getting the Korean text in the chat. I don't know what kind of chair I'm using. It's just a standard kind of Target chair, actually. I used to have a really good gaming chair, but unfortunately I lost it in the move. Actually, it's not a low back. It's actually just broken. But the countdown has begun, so now we are going to be keeping things rolling. No rest for the wicked, and no wicked here. So, yeah, gaming chairs can be uncomfortable if you don't like. They're for a certain type of people. If you're really in your chair for a long time, they can be pretty good. It kind of just depends on what kind of chair you have. But speaking of chairs, this guy is going to need the best chair possible for the epic games he's going to show us. And he is Solar. And his opponent down here in the top position, he is Creator. Now, he's not going to be able to get his natural hatch down like he wants. But he is going to be able. He's going to be able to still get that hatchery anyway. Oh yeah, You know, I think we should just decide the winner of a tournament, not by coin flip, not by actually playing the game, but it's got to be by who has the best RGB. Because I think I would win more tournaments if that was the case. Now, Creator just being a little bit of a nuisance here while getting his second Nexus up. Pretty standard Protoss shenanigans. I think the good thing, though, for Solar is he knows where this probe is. There's nothing scarier than a probe that you don't know where its position is. And yeah, I am loving the energy from chat right now. You guys are insane. It is early in the morning and you're still going ham. Excuses, Joe Moder. But we do see Twilight Council as the next. We do see Twilight Council as the next choice here, and this is one of the things with the smaller rush distance. Adepts can be pretty good here. I do kind of hope that this is the Adept Glaive build. That's the most fun to kind of watch. Yeah, we do have the Robo facility coming down as well. What is going to come out? Creator, we're all waiting. Oh man, you guys are from everywhere. Australia, Europe, I'm guessing a couple of you. Oh, Japan. Sugoi desu ne. Sugoi desu ne, mahashoujo. And yeah, Creator's going to be pushed back a little bit here. DTs are going to be the choice. Where did he hide the DT Shrine? He hit it right in his main base. And goes straight for it here. Now, Solar, he's not in a bad position by any stretch of the imagination. He kind of knows something is up. He sees the additional gateway being dropped down in the natural here, and he's just gonna hop right in and see the DT Shrine being built, and that's just gonna set up a lot of alarm bells ringing in his head. Instantly, 3 spores dropped. Roachwarn almost finished up. And he's just looking to be pretty safe behind this. DT's going to go straight for the front, however. They are going to get pushed back a little bit here. Sweden and Israel, wow. But we do see the kind of next stage here for Creator. This is really kind of bog standard, going straight into the Archon drops behind it, because you're not going to get too much damage done with pure DTs anymore. But one thing this does allow Solar to do is he knows that he can really just kind of rotate around a little bit, because Creator has spent a long time prepping this, so he does not have that many units back at home. DT helping him out a little bit, but a small supply block. Not before losing the Force Field Sentry and the Pylon. But this is one thing I love about Solar. He's always kind of on the attack. He knows how far he can go with this and what he needs to commit to get some semblance of damage done. Already 3 workers going down for both sides here. The Archon's still getting a little bit more work done, but he has to be careful not to lose those shields on him. Eight workers going down here, and that is really good. But Solar, you know, he is going to be doing that transition. I don't think this has actually been spotted either by Creator just yet, so this might actually blindside him here, because there's not a lot of there's not too much here that shoots up, actually. Immortals, very powerful, not very air oriented. Yeah, you know, still small still really small little engagements here and there. We do see the Mutalisks coming in, and this is really kind of a linchpin moment here for Solar. Will he be able to get in there and do some damage? So far, the shield batteries and the cannons are in position, and actually, he's just going to get picked off in the middle of the map. Does not lose any just yet. Really just wants to hop on top of that probe line. Shield batteries are going to prevent a lot of damage being done. Using 2 Mutalisks here for only 7 probes. And you know what? This is just going to be Creator's moment to strike. A lot of that army supply is over on the other side of the map. The Archon's in the front. Going to tank a lot of the damage here to start things off. But the Ling is actually just able to push everything back. Solar with an unstoppable Zerg force here, it looks like, as he's pushing Creator far back on the other side. Trying to get the Immortals. I think he did lose one of them there. And he did. So really nice pickoffs here, and Solar completely maxed out. It's only 129 supply for Creator, an 80 supply difference. So Solar is just going to be able to push his way fully through here and do what he can to end this game. There is only one force field available as well. Okay, that might do it. It's going to need a couple more of those, however. A few good shots on the Disruptor are going to lessen the supply difference, but still quite a bit here for Solar to keep the engagement. He definitely needed Disruptors a few minutes ago here. They're starting to help out quite a bit, though. Not the best shot right there, and actually losing one before it could fire. And now Solar is actually just rallying across the map to try and close this one out. One DT going to help out, but that is going to get taken down. And Solar, while he is pushed back, he is now set up in a position to just remax very quickly. It looks like Creator kind of knows the position he's in and wants to harass the army so that it stays off his side of the map as well. I do kind of like the transition into Colossus, because one thing that the Colossus will allow him to do is clean up that Zergling line a little bit quicker here. But as we can kind of see, Creator trying to take that 4th base as Solar is getting closer and closer to maxing out, getting 15 Mutalisks on the production tab. Still, though, with those Archons, I like this because Creator is doing whatever he can to kind of keep Solar from bringing his whole army forward here. The Mutalisks is going to come in, however, and see what they can get done. Going straight for that shield battery, going to take that down. And it looks like he just wants to clean up the cannons with this one. I'm going to lose a few Mutalisks for it, though, so I don't know if that was the best trade. But Solar, he kind of feels like it might be, as he's going to be moving across the map with his entire army. Small bit of a backstab here from Creator. I don't think this is going to be a base trade situation here necessarily, but really Creator needs to make a decision on what he's going to do right now. And it does look like that decision is to recall. While the Mutalisks going to try and pick off the reinforcements, the ones left behind. How are the upgrades looking here? Looks like Solar actually has very few in terms of that upgrades here. +2 attack for our Protoss player. I think that's, like, I don't want to say that's really killing him in this game, but I think it's hurting him a little bit in these big fights. Just having a little bit of trouble getting on top of things, but here we go. The +1 Mutalisk going to be hopping in, trying to take out the Stalkers as best they can. On the other side of the map, we see a big roach run by here. Azamida's starting to clean up everything. Those Colossus are out, and no recall anywhere to be seen. Half of his army, though, is taking out the 4th base of Solar here. So it is a bit of a base raid situation, but one that Creator is a little bit ahead in. Actually, I don't know who's ahead. It looks to be Solar, because he's actually going to get a big pickoff on those Disruptors. That is a big loss for Creator. And now we see he's just going to continue the attack, but Solar in a position to just kind of run his workers away from this. Oh, no. All the probes going down, so anything that Creator does now is going to be a little bit weaker here. He does not have many mining bases. He's only got 12 workers to his name. Although he does get a good clump up on those Mutalisks, get a lot of damage done on them, but I don't think it's enough. Creator down to 36 supply, and I think Solar has etched his way forward and taken this game, going up to match point in this best-of-5 series. That was an epic game, and just really good play from both sides here. Creator, he had some good pushes and he had some good strategies there, but unfortunately just was unable to capitalize on them. Solar kind of just death by 1,000 cuts there. And it is going to be Oxide for the next map. Yeah, I like Oxide. This is a pretty good one for it, but we're just gonna see when the lobby gets created. But yeah, I'd like to take this moment once again just to thank our sponsor, Fireball Whiskey. Fireball Whiskey is not just a party drink. There are so many different applications for it. It's a nice drink to add, especially as the season gets colder. A nice warm apple cider can benefit greatly from a nice spiced drink. So cheers, everyone. Apple cinnamon, especially when it's warm. It's a little bit chilly outside right now, so this is a perfect drink to kind of keep you up and awake as we go into our next game on Oxide. Uh-oh. Mouse, what are you doing? Well, thank you, Chin. I know a lot of casters kind of like just kind of filling the dead air, but sometimes that's just not really good sometimes. Sometimes you just got to let the game speak for itself. I do have the problem where sometimes I do let that pause go on for a little bit long. But speaking of long pauses, this guy has no break in his gameplay up here in the top position. He is Solar. His opponent down on the bottom position. He is looking to make it happen. He is Creator. Now, Solar being on match point here is a pretty big deal. Creator, once again, this is kind of Creator's thing. He just loves being a nuisance here, and Solar is just having none of it. You know, he's got that second hatchery going down way outside of his base just because he can. It doesn't slow him down really at all. And behind that, yeah, you know, pretty standard openings for both sides here. I don't think Solar's going to look to close it out with some really cheeky aggression, but one can hope, actually. Now Cybernetics Core coming down. You know, unfortunately, there's not too much to really say here until these guys decide on their build order choices. The first couple of minutes, it's kind of just this build up. You know, they're kind of thinking in their heads, oh, hey, I want to do this. I want to do that. And instead, we do see Creator still being a bit of a nuisance here. We got Adepts on the way. I'm kind of thinking Stargate just a little bit here because there's a lot of dead space. And you know what? Caster Curse. There's no such thing as Stargate. There's no such thing as Robo Facility. It is just pure Twilight Council. Oh for 2. That's a good start to the day. But we saw he did have those Archon drops, which were pretty effective, actually, in the mid stages there. It really helped him kind of push Solar back a little bit, kind of keep his army separated because he had to defend. He had to keep the Roaches from letting all of his drones die. It wasn't enough to win him the game, but it really helped him out and stay longer and longer. But this time, it's actually going to be Adept Glaives. Now, this one is interesting. This is a bit of a shorter map, but at the same time, you know, you've got rocks that are kind of lengthening the distance. So we'll have to see how aggressive he's going to be with this. I think this is not going to be an all-in play from him, just because it does allow you to transition DTs on the back of this. Wow, Creator, you absolute madman. So now it comes down to he's going to add those DTs in with the Adepts, and that's just going to hit really, really hard, actually. You know, he can hit with DTs in one location, morph them into Archons, and also have the Adepts hit the third base as well. Now, unfortunately for him, this does get scouted. You don't need speed to see everything in the main base. And yeah, he does see the fact that there is the DT Shrine as well as the Adept Glaives researching. And actually, because of this Overlord positioning, he sees that he's not just faking him out either. I don't think he's actually going to send the DTs in as is. I think he is actually just going to morph those into Archons and continue with the attack that way. But here we go, the first big Adept warp in here. Solar hiding all of his units. The Adepts do get into a decent position here, but the Queen's going to help to pick this up. Remember, this is a build that really requires you to snowball quite exponentially in order to make it really worth it. But the Creator actually going to be able to get out of there with that. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Hanzos. The second you see both buildings there, you know what's up. He actually canceled his DT shrine to rebuild it here. So a bit of mind games coming out from Creator. That's really interesting here, actually. As I say that, though, we got a Stalker, a drop, all prepped and ready to go. The Adepts going to be in the front. They do have that glaive, so it's going to help them out versus the Roaches, but that's not enough. The Roaches are going to be able to push this back, and there is plenty of army here to prevent any sort of cheeky shenanigans. He does force the recall on those Adepts, only losing one of them, so he is still in a pretty good position here as the Immortal count is starting to rise. The Roaches, you know, they still don't have speed, by the way, because Lair is only just now finishing. Did he actually let it finish this time? He did indeed. I am liking this. Like, Creator is in a much better position in this game. He hasn't really taken that much damage. He hasn't pushed enough damage either, but I digress on that point. But here we go. This is kind of what I was talking about. You send the DTs in to the main base while the Adepts prep and attack with the main army at the 3rd and 4th base location. Actually just going to force the Spore Crawler to move there, but the DTs do get taken down after 7 workers gone. Huge Ling run by here, going to try and cancel the 3rd base, while the main army just pushes the front. Solar actually able to get in as well, so the economy is in trouble here, as we do see the Spire transition coming down as well. The Archons are going to be added in to this push, but my god, it's a massacre. Creator, he thought about engaging in the front, but he's had to focus all of his attention back here at home, losing 21 workers, and that is, as you guys probably know, not good at all. He's going to lose the DTs and the War Prism as well, potentially. That is huge amounts of damage, and Solar has ripped this game in his claws. And Sushi with the gifted sub to Bitterwood. Welcome to the Dragon family. You know, they're trying to fight by themselves, but they're like apes. They're weak in small numbers, but strong when together. Gonna go straight for this 3rd base, but the Shield Batter are gonna keep those probes alive, and the Stalkers are gonna be able to chase this off for right now. Now, Creator's playing a bit reactionary here. He's got that 2nd starport, or Stargate rather, coming up to deal with the Mutalisks here. But as you guys know, Solar, he doesn't stick with these Mutalisks here. So those Phoenix are not going to be as effective versus the ground army. See that 3rd base, or rather we see that Hive and Lurker combination coming up as well. So Solar just really setting the pace of this game. You know, he's having Creator be the reactionary player, even though Zerg is kind of the reactionary race. So That's only going to kind of prevent that base from going down, even though I don't think Solar really wanted to take that any time. Small little run by going to get taken down. And really, Solar is just going to try and push the issue with these, with these little run-bys. It's keeping Creator at home pretty effectively. And stuck on 3 bases as well, I might add. Here we go, a big engagement coming down here. Creator gonna be pushing his luck with this. Gonna go for... Actually, he's not gonna step on the creep just yet. Although he doesn't really need to get a couple of nice pickoffs here on those Mutalisks. Do have a big Roach run by as well. This is kind of just Solar trying to free up some supply for the lurkers. But now it looks like Creator's going to press his advantage here. What advantage is that? The fact that he's got a Protoss army looking to clean up house. Big concave here for Solar. He's going to just try and push this back as much as possible here. This is looking good for him so far. But it's those lurkers in the back, which is just going to be such a big deal to deal with here. He doesn't have any detection with this army, I don't think. Okay, he has one observer. They're kind of invisible, so I didn't see that. But 9 workers going down in the back. The Muta's actually starting to get the damage done that they need to, but it's coming down to the big army engagement right here. Creator now on a bit of a timer. He needs to make something work right now. Huge concave going to get right on top of the lurkers. They're really getting such big shots off here. I'm loving the use of the Phoenix to lift them up and prevent them from getting that damage done. But there you have it. GG is called Creator. He had such a strong push there.